Education is the most important way to be successful and achieve the things that you want for your life. Because of education, doctors, engineers, architects, lawyers, teachers, and many more to mention are the product of education. Those people who possess perseverance and intelligence achieve such things. But let me ask you, is it possible to a certain person with special need, a person who happens to have a disability, be able to have the key to success or the one we call education? Are they capable of learning like a normal student can? Let me introduce to all of you one of the disabilities that is categorized according to IDEA. We will introduce to you the autism, its definition, common traits, educational challenges, and tips for parents and teachers on how they would be able to handle children with autism.
What is autism? Autism, also called Autism Spectrum Disorder or ASD, is a complicated condition that includes problems with communication and behavior. It can involve a wide range of symptoms and skills. ASD can be a minor problem or a disability that needs full-time care in a special facility. Autism is a neurological disorder or a brain disease characterized by the presence of severe communication, language, and social deficits in affected persons. It is the most well-known of several pervasive developmental disorder or PDD diagnoses which begin in early childhood and continue throughout life, affecting most every aspect of life along the way. While autistic people's cognitive, thinking and language and social skills are typically developmentally delayed compared to their peers, their motor or movement skills develop in a more normal fashion.
Individuals with autism often have a number of unusual physical characteristics called dysmorphologies, such as wide-set eyes or broad foreheads. Dysmorphic features may mark a subgroup of individuals who have autism with a distinct underlying genetic cause. People with autism have trouble with communication. They have trouble understanding what other people think and feel. This makes it hard for them to express themselves either with words or through gestures, facial expressions, and touch. People with autism might have problems with learning. Their skills might develop unevenly. For example, they could have trouble communicating, but be usually good at art, music, math, or memory. Because of this, they might do especially well on tests of analysis or problem solving. When it comes to social skills, a child with ASD has a hard time interacting with others. Problems with social skills are some of the most common signs. They might want to have close relationships but not know how. When it comes to patterns of behavior, children with ASD also act in ways that seem unusual or have interests that aren't typical. Examples of this can include repetitive behaviors like hand flopping, rocking, jumping, or twirling. They also have constant moving or pacing and hyper behavior, fixations on certain activities or objects, specific routines or rituals, and getting upset when a routine is changed even slightly. They also have extreme sensitivity to touch, light, and sound. They also don't take part in make-believe play or imitating other behaviors. They also have fussy eating habits, lack of coordination, clumsiness, impulsiveness, or acting without thinking. They also have aggressive behavior both with self and others. They also have
Children with autism have average or above average intelligence, but autism can still affect learning in a number of ways. Some of these learning difficulties can be effectively addressed, particularly with the early interventions, and in some cases, these learning difficulties are also are also accompanied by strengths unique to autistic children. Perhaps the most well-known trait of autism is difficulty with social skills, including recognizing and responding to other people's feelings, reading nonverbal cues, and navigating social norms. Language Language development and communication difficulties are common challenges in students with ASD that are often inextricably intertwined with issues related to socialization. So much of human socialization is related to verbal and nonverbal communication. A student with ASD may have struggled with sensory processing and may avoid or seek out sensory input. Some students will have difficulty completing tasks or planning ahead, while others may find it difficult to break a pattern of thinking to approach a problem in a new way. As executive challenges or effort that interferes with the student's ability to concentrate on the material being presented.
Tips for parents. As a parent, you've probably spent a lot of time thinking about your child's future, even more so if they have an autism spectrum disorder or ASD diagnosis. First, focus on the positive. Just like anyone else, children with autism spectrum disorder often respond well to positive reinforcement. That means when you praise them for the behaviors they're doing well, it will make them and you feel good. As a parent, loving your child for who they are is a key. Second, stay consistent and on schedule. People on the spectrum like routines. Make sure they get consistent guidance and interaction so they can practice what they learn from therapy. Third, put play on the schedule. Finding activities that seem like pure fun and not more education or therapy may help your child open up and connect with you. Fourth, give it time. You'll likely try a lot of different techniques, treatments, and approaches as you figure out what's best for your child. Stay positive and try not to get discouraged if they don't respond well to a particular method. Fifth, take your child along for everyday activities. If your child's behavior is unpredictable, you may feel like it's easier not to expose them to certain situations. But when you take them on everyday errands like grocery, shopping, or a post office run, it may help them get them used to the world around them.
It's impossible to handle her. He's totally disruptive and creates a ruckus in my class. What an attention seeker. Do you think she should be attending regular school? He can't sit still even for a moment. I don't think he's capable of learning. These are some of the commonly heard frustrations that come with teaching students with autism. But what if we tried to understand how the student with autism feels? What if we attributed their behavior to a different brain wiring instead of deliberate disruptions? Tips: avoid sensory overload. Many unexpected things can be distracting to students with autism. Fluorescent lights, smells, and noises from other students can make it difficult for students with autism to concentrate. Using cool, calm colors in the classroom can help create more relaxing atmosphere. Avoid covering the walls with too many posters or other things to look at. Some students may even benefit from their own center where they can spend time away from any possible distractions. Use of visuals. Even individuals with autism who can read benefits from visuals. Visuals can serve as reminders about classroom rules, where certain things go, and resources that are available to students. Using pictures and modeling will mean more to students with autism than a lengthy explanation. Be predictable. If you've ever been a substitute teacher, you know about the unspoken anxiety of being with a different class, sometimes in a different school every day. Having predictability in the classroom eases anxiety for students with autism and will help avoid distraction. Some students are less worried or curious about what will happen next and can better focus on the work at hand. Give your student a schedule that they can follow. If there are any unpredictable changes, it's a great teaching moment to model how to handle changes appropriately. Keep language concrete. Do any of you children of the 90s remember the show Bobby's World with Howie Mandel? Bobby would always overhear adults using figurative language and daydream of all these crazy scenarios about what he thought they meant. Many individuals with autism have trouble understanding figurative language and interpret it in a very concrete terms. This may serve as a great opportunity to teach figurative language and hidden meanings in certain terms. Treat students as individuals. I'm sure this goes without saying, but I'm going to say it. It's so important to model patience, understanding, and respect when working in a classroom with any special learners. Celebrate their success and don't sweat it if some accommodations don't conform to what you are used to in the classroom. Keep in mind that some of these recommendations may be super helpful for some students, while others may not need the same degree of consideration.
Self-education requires self-discipline, patience, mindfulness, understanding, and love. Children are all very special and have unique personalities to fall in love with. Education is for everyone. One may be blind, autistic, deaf, mute, or whatever disabilities ones have. They also can learn. These children tend to be talented and skilled that a normal student can't do. That's why children with these cases needs to be respected and treated equally.
Children with disabilities have these wonderful traits just like others. They face challenges that other children will never know. But I believe inclusive classrooms are providing children with or without disabilities that each other are really not as different from one another as they appear to be.
Remember this quote by Amanda G. Friedman. Autism is uniqueness and difference personified.